Good morning, and it is morning bright and early. Don't worry though, I've got my go-kart mug. I filled it with coffee. I've driven to Shennington, where you can see it's very wet and rather unpleasant. It's all right though, because I've managed to find myself some tyres. Look at those. I think those might make me go a little bit faster. See if we can get away with fitting them onto the carts. Anyway, there is the face of a man who's starting on pole and who is also going through a real dip in form. So let me take you through heat one. Here we are. We've just gone green. It is wet. It's rainy, it's cold, and my thought process just at the moment is, no, I don't want to be on pole. The other boys are faster than me. I'm scared. I don't like it. Like I said, real dip in form at the moment. It's happened before, and I've been able to drag myself out of it. But I have to be honest. I was really intimidated to be starting on pole in these conditions. Shennington, somewhere I've never been before. But just at this point here, I'm able to turn around and have a look at the rest of the pack, and I can see I've actually made a pretty good start. I know it looks slow because it's wet and we're on slicks, but I have actually made quite a good start, and I've been able to gap the rest of the field, not by a huge amount, but I'm certainly able to take the line that I want to take. I'm not having to go defensive in any way, shape or form. A pretty good first lap actually, and this is actually the first time I have ever led a Club 100 lap, so let's see how long I can maintain it for. I know it's not that much of an achievement when you start on pole. It'd be more of an achievement if I'd started last. But okay, we've got our first set of yellows. This guy over here in the orange, he was a busy boy today. He was fixing that barrier. You'll see him plenty of times fixing the barrier on the exit of the hairpin just here. He was there is there's some cones, tyres there to stop us from abusing that curb. But anyway, look guys, this is Shennington, not somewhere I'd ever been before, but I have to say a really lovely track to drive. Really enjoyed driving it, even in very wet conditions. Seemed to be a lot more grip than we realised. And this, as I didn't say it before, is round 2 of the Club 100 heavyweight sprint series. Round 1. I'm sorry I couldn't record or bring you any footage from round 1. This GoPro is a law unto itself. Decided that it didn't want to record any of my footage from round 1, but luckily today it's decided it's going to do a bit of work, and I have all 3 heats and a final to show you. So pretty remarkable actually in one of my videos. Normally something goes wrong. There he is, poor old matey boy, still repairing that barrier. So we've still got yellows out, and it's not very sporting this really, is it? But the longer those yellows go out, the better it is for me, because it stops other people, the faster boys, from being able to make as much progress as quickly as possible. But anyway, the yellows have gone away again, so we're back racing, and it's head down and just trying our absolute best to gap the field as quickly or as much as possible. We haven't got these aren't really long heats or anything, so we've got 7 minutes to try and maintain our position. But anyway, look, whilst watching myself going around in the lead is wonderful viewing for me, I appreciate it's probably not very interesting viewing for you. So just while we're here, I'm going to tell you, if you go into the description for this video, you will see that I have got some links to some products on Amazon. There's some gloves, suits and boots for karting. Now if you click on those links, I will get a very small commission if you buy them. So if you are in the market for any new karting gear, it will be hugely appreciated if you could click on one of the links. I'm not going to be working soon, so I'd really love to continue to race and continue to show you these videos. So if you do enjoy the videos, if you have got anything out of them, and you are in the market for some karting equipment, I'd love you to visit the link in the description. Alternatively as well, if you know anyone else, I think we're going to get overtaken here. Yeah, there we are. There goes the lead. If you know anyone else who is in the market for some new karting gear, please do share the video as well. I'd really appreciate it. And also, like every good YouTuber, like and subscribe. Anyway, we've been overtaken. That's okay though. This guy's obviously really quick, and we're just going to continue to have a look at his lines and see what he's doing. Now, I've been working on my exits. Exits have typically been where I've really struggled, and actually I would say that here as well, perhaps because I've not been here before. Later on in the day, my exits get much better. But can you see I am gapping him in the braking zone, but I'm going to lose that advantage on the exit. And I think perhaps compared to this guy here who's faster and who's overtaken me, he was perhaps braking a little bit earlier and getting on the gas a little bit earlier as well, which overall has meant a quicker lap time. So I do actually learn from that, and you'll see in the heats later on today, I do end up actually being able to work on my exits and improve on my exits. I think going back to my form, I'm making loads of mistakes at the moment. Right, second thing that I want you to do, let's have a competition. Sorry, just before we go on, I'm sorry about this rain droplet. I need to get one of those things what stops rain droplets being on your... It's not very good English, is it? But yeah, I need to get one of those things. Yellow flag's out again. There he is. There's our friend repairing the barrier again. So I don't mean to laugh at him. He's done a great job there. Excuse me. Just on the form front, I am making loads of mistakes at the moment. I'd say traditionally I'm not someone who makes dozens and dozens of mistakes, but this season so far I have made absolutely loads of mistakes. I've been a very silly sausage, and what I want you to do is count the number of times I've been a silly sausage. Right, so here we are. Oh no, just about to get our best ever Club 100 result, and I throw it off, totally unconnected. No one helped me do that. That's my own fault. Luckily the momentum just brought me back onto the track. Bill Taylor's on our right hand side here. He's going to hang it around the outside. I didn't fancy with dirty tyres sort of trying to race him into that corner there, but this is all about to hot up now. It's the last lap, so I like to make my mistakes on the last lap so that I've got no time to improve on them. Lawrence Gia has just gone around there, unfortunate for him. So we were down to 6th place, we're up to 5th again now. Can we do anything else? 5th is still not bad, although when you start in pole, really there's no excuse to be going down that many places. Right, so the game here is how many times am I a silly sausage? Put it in the comments. Put your guess in, and I will tell you at the end of a video. You'll see how many ridiculous mistakes I make. Right, going into what is the last overtaking opportunity, and if you look into the foreground, you can see that Jacob Harris and Tim Williams get together there, and Tim goes around. So we're up into 4th. However, I'm very, very lucky. The two guys in front got penalties, so I'm back up to 2nd. Best ever result. Told the racing baby all about this when I got home, and we had a party. That's Wenger boys in there. Right, heat number 2. Just on the warm-up lap, I'm so tempted to cut this out and not show you, but I have to show you because silly sausage moment number 2 is coming up. Just trying to get a little bit of heat into the tyres, and there, oh, what an idiot. I'm so sorry to everyone who had to deal with that. I hit Callan Sigafus there. He's just on the right hand side. I was able to turn around and check that everyone was back in position, and I hadn't taken anyone else out, and so it is the case actually that it was fine. I didn't actually loop it all around as well, so I was able to get back into position, and loads of loading going on there. I know it looks like I've smashed into the back of this guy, but I took a big hit from behind, and we're all being loaded into each other. There's absolutely no room. There's about 7 or 8 of us, all front to back bumpers. We're going to go to the outside, which is where the space is, but it's really risky to be on the outside, particularly in these conditions. We get a shove, and we've got some real heavy hitters in this. We've got the Holmes brothers. This is, I think, Kurt Holmes in front of us. We've got Paul Williams ahead. We're going to go up the inside. Paul and Joe Holmes get together. We're up the inside of Joe Holmes. On our left hand side here is Andy Hicks. He is a very, very quick driver, someone who finished 2nd in the WRC3 Championship last year. Kurt Holmes, just around the outside. We're going to try and push Andy through, but he doesn't get a great exit actually, so not able to do anything there. Joe Holmes up the inside of me. I'm going to see if I can have a go around the outside and go for the better exit. And actually Joe there just notices that I'm going to get that better exit and snatches the piece of track that I wanted. And while it's frustrating not to be able to take that bit of track, I couldn't help but be very impressed with his awareness. That's why he is a multiple champion in this series. Now this is where my battle with Joe Holmes is going to end. He is just going to disappear up the road now. He's so quick. This guy get a little bit wide there, and not a great exit. That allows the guy on our left to go up a place. Now we don't get a great exit, but this guy in front, I think that's Paul Williams, gets an even worse one. So we go up a place and we go down a place again. Mr. Raindroplet's back, isn't he? Thank you, Mr. Raindroplet. If you could leave the action, that would be appreciated. So eventually we've all managed to sort ourselves out and move into one straight line. Now I anticipated there that this guy wasn't going to go up the inside of Andy Hicks. So I just back out on that corner. That corner was actually flat, even in the wet. So I am trying really hard to anticipate other people's movement and not hit them, not run into them. If only I could anticipate my own silly behaviour, then not that this guy in ahead was doing anything silly, by the way. But David, this raindroplet's right in the middle of the camera now, isn't it? I'm very sorry about this. I will try and get this sorted for future races. Anyway, what it's doing is it's stopping us from seeing the action, and I have actually, after a couple of decent corners, been able to catch up with this pack at the back. We started our second heat in P10, but it was actually a promotion up to P9. I think one guy didn't start. So we P9. And to be honest, at this point, I've absolutely no idea where we are. We get a decent exit there, just run into the back of the guy in front though, and that ruins our momentum. And all we can do now is see if we can go again for a wide entrance and a better exit, and we actually have got our better exit. There's a guy in the green suit, doesn't get a good exit. He goes that way. We just blend out of a throttle. Wasn't convinced that the guy just ahead of us had actually seen me on the outside there. Again, it is always a bit of a risk if you choose to go on the outside. It might be the case that someone swings back. But we're getting a good run through here. Which way are we going to go? Let's go to the left. That's the only place we've got, and we're going to see if we can go all the way around the outside. There's lots of grip around the outside of a corner there. Now these two guys get together, and we're going to be three wide, but we're going to get the better drag as the other two are just rubbing up against each other and causing themselves to slow down. So we get both of them there, and now we've got Mr. Hicks up ahead of us. Can we do anything about him? He's another one of our Mango mates. So he's a good lad, and we don't want to be taking him out. But a good opportunity for me to have a look at what Andy's doing, because he, unlike me, this season has been absolutely smashing it. 2A final appearances. I actually get a contact warning there. Not quite sure why that was. But yeah. Anyway, we have to continue. I was wondering if, as the two guys just in front of us at the hairpin in the last lap got together, I wonder if the marshal just saw my number and got confused or something. But never mind. Just having a little look up the inside of Andy, but quite conservative on the brakes. We don't want to take him out. He goes for the wide line and gets a much better exit. And actually, you can see that I'm almost having to go sort of semi-defensive because of my poor exit. Going around the outside of this corner again, Shen in the... Oh, hang on, watch this. Just get a little bit wide, and oh dear, oh JV, I'm so sorry. Just got wide there. We're going to lose a place. Had to blend out of a throttle to get it back on the circuit. JV told us not to hit that curb, and I just got a snap of oversteer on the exit, which floated me sort of wide. Totally my fault. That should actually have been a penalty for going on that curb and going beyond that curb. Now, I think I got really lucky there because I wasn't pulled up on that one. So, it swings and roundabouts, don't you? I'm perhaps a little bit harsh, or I'm not really sure what I did to get the warning on contact, but I should have had a penalty really there for going over that curb, and I got away with it. So you've got to recognise that you take the rough with the smooth, don't you? And sometimes you might get a penalty, which is a bit harsh, but other times you get away with it. So I am very sorry though to Club 100 because that probably didn't do the kart any good going on that curve. Anyway, we've lost that place again, and it's cost us quite a bit of time, hasn't it? Being out there, having to get out of the throttle, and it's just kind of knocked our rhythm a little bit, knocked our momentum. Final lap board is out, so it's kind of traditionally that sort of time when we make a mistake. So if you're counting, that's 3 silly sausage moments that we're up to so far. All right, so 3 silly sausage moments up so far. Doesn't look at this stage like we're particularly close and in any danger of taking these guys' positions away from them. We do close up into the hairpin. But again, perhaps still at this stage, just taking a little bit too much speed into that corner, and not getting the exit. The exit here, when you're not driving up that bank, is generally speaking actually was pretty good. I was able to make some positions up later in the day just by nailing that exit and getting it right. And this one here as well. I think in practice I was slow, and I was a bit too conservative around there, and also round 1 and 2, but those corners were a bit of a problem for me. But anyway, that was the second heat done, and we're on to our third and final heat, starting P13. So we've had a P1 start, a P10 to 9 start, and then we're starting P13. So this is our back heat. The start a little bit less aggressive here. We're not getting loaded into anyone. We're on the inside for turn 1. There's a few brave boys going around the outside, and actually they're making it work really nicely. Mo Hassan directly in front of us. Again, we've lost 3 places though, just by not being on a particularly good grippy part of the track. But can we do anything? We've got a good run through here. We go to the outside. We're going to see there's 4 guys on our inside there. Can we do anything with this grippy part of the track? And actually, yes, we can. We're going to go around the outside of 4. And we make those places, all those places back up again. So we're up a couple of places, net couple of places. Poor old guy on the right hand side gets shoved wide and into that puddle. That puddle is going to play a part in my story a little bit later today as well, just as without wanting to ruin the silly sausage game. Just be on the lookout for that. Into this corner, we're again going to go wide. It's Heinrich Miller-Watson who's gone around there, and we get done as we're trying to avoid Heinrich. We get done by this guy who was late on the brakes. Again, we were going for a good exit, but of course you have to be really, really wary and make sure that if you are leaving the door wide open, you've got enough space, or you've got enough of a gap that the guy behind isn't going to be able to throw it up the inside. We go around the outside of one guy there, and again we're going to look to our left hand side. Can we do anything around the outside? That's worked rather nicely for us. There's a guy still there, and we're going to get the better exit. So yes, we can actually. We've gone around the outside of that guy just there, so that's good news. So again, up a couple more positions this lap. This guy here goes for a good exit, but he's just missed that apex there, and we are able to get alongside. We're going to have a right-hander coming up here, but we've got the inside, and that's job done. So a decent return. Well, not a great couple of first corners, but after that a fairly decent return. And again, it's all settling down. This was working to my advantage in the first heat when I was on pole, but obviously disadvantage in heat 2 and 3. battling people really does slow your average lap time down. That might sound like a really obvious thing to say, but the reason the fast boys weren't able to get me until I threw it off the road on the penultimate lap in Heat 1 was because they were busy doing all of this, battling offline and things like that. It does really slow you down. Now we get a good exit here, but JV asked us to go one by one or single file through this chicane here, so we're not going to try and stick our nose up the inside. That's going to almost certainly result in an accident. Guy in front of us takes loads of speed in there, though. He's shown us actually that you can be a lot braver than we were being there. There's another guy off. It's our favourite corner, isn't it? Yeah, so I feel for you, young man. Sorry about that. But yeah, he's off, so yeah, good news for us. It's all going reasonably well at the moment. So we're in a little bit of a battle now. We're certainly not nose to bumper just at the moment, are we? But we are going to close up, and we are going to sort of ease into a bit of a four-way battle for. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know what position this is. Actually, maybe I should learn to count. That might be something to do. But anyway, at this stage we've gone up. We're certainly further up the field than the P13 we started. So that'll be a bit of a benefit. So I think this guy might be Nicholas Walker ahead of us. I'm not entirely sure, but ahead of him is definitely Mo Hassan. Just as we are beginning to settle into a rhythm now, we're developing a good exit. So we go to the right, and then we go back to the left. So Selim the dummy, and we're going to have the inside line to this corner here. Now I'm just very aware he is on the outside, which is the inside now. We're side by side. You can't see him, but there he is, and we just dip our our left rear just off on the slightly less grippy part of the track there, and it ruins our momentum. We're going to go up the inside, see if we can do that, but as we found out, the outside really and the cutback is the thing to do there, and he does exactly the right thing, gets us on the cutback, and all of this battling, all this messing about has allowed this guy here to get through on us. We've lost a little bit of time there, haven't we? But good battling. I'm really enjoying this, I have to say. It's a good battle, fair battle, and for the first time in a little while, I am karting with a huge grin on my face. Like I've mentioned a couple of times, the form's not been great. We all just have to blend out of a throttle there again. We were on the outside, but the guy hadn't seen me, so we don't want any accidents. We'd blend out the throttle and live to fight another day is a sensible thing to do there. We seem to be getting a decent exit again though, just gentle on the throttle, arresting any slide. Not easy to do, but now we've got a decision to make. What are we going to do? These guys are going to fight. Can we get them on the cutback? Now they just come together ever so slightly, and that gives us the better drive. We're going to have the inside for the first part of the chicane, but this guy on our left, he's still there. We're going to get the better exit as well, though, and very gentlemanly, very fair. He doesn't shove me off. He gives me racing room on the outside. So yeah, really fair, really good battle, really enjoying this. Let's just hope I don't do anything silly. Oh dear, oh no, and we're off. And this time I come to a stop on the grass, and if that happens, you have to get out and you have to push the cart back on to the circuit. So this is me pushing the cart back on. What are we up to now? This is silly sausage moment number 4, I think. So yeah, we've done something ridiculous. There's Heinrich. I think he had a problem earlier on in this race. We've done something ridiculous in each of the heats, and there it is. Yeah, it's the penultimate lap again, isn't it? I've got a bit of a theory as to this. Well, I've got 2 conflicting theories actually. One is I haven't done any exercise in about 6 months. I'm wondering if the lack of concentration is due, in part at least, to a lack of fitness. Now, I'm not entirely sure about that, because today fitness wasn't really much of an issue. It's obviously very cold and wet, and that means that the physical demands of karting in these kind of conditions is slightly less. It's not like when it's really high grip and it's much more kind of physical. But still, the concentration would come much more easily, I think, if I was fitter. The other sort of possible suggestion is that actually towards the end of the heats, I'm wondering if I'm actually backing off slightly, trying to consolidate the position, and in doing so, particularly around that corner, particularly that final sort of hairpin, I'm wondering if maybe I'm drifting onto the racing line, which is where all the rubber is. Anyway, theories aside, we're in the B final, starting P10. Perhaps could have been more if I hadn't have been such a silly sausage, but you know, it is what it is. So starting P10, we're on the outside for P1. A little bit of argy-bargy, as is so often the case at the start here, and we're going to try and leave these guys on our left to have their own fight, and we are going to see if we can make any benefit from them. Now we just back out here. We've gone up one place. We go up the inside, but look at Heinrich Müller-Watson just on the left-hand side. Look at the absolute fantastic traction he gets from going really wide. And then cutting back. He's done about 4 people on the exit there, so that's interesting. That's good to learn from. Just ahead of us here is Andrew Neal. Andrew is the C3 2022 champion, but we're not quite alongside him, so we back out of this very fast right-hander. Andrew started as we got a guy going off in our favourite corner. He actually started on the front row, P2, so he's not had a great start. He's been shuffled back down the pack. Can we do anything about him? Can we do anything about some of the guys ahead of us? Well, that's what we're about to find out. One of the things that I will mention now is you can probably see actually conditions have dried up. We're just alongside Andrew. Andrew's on our left hand side, so we have to take the inside line, which, as we've seen already, isn't actually optimum, and he hangs it all the way around the outside. Good move from him there, and he gets the traction and he maintains the position. So we're going to have to regroup. We're going to have another go, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Alex Pritchard. Now, Alex, I'm not sure what happened to him in the heats, but he started, I think, towards the back of the C final. He's normally a C1 and one of the fastest guys out there, but he drove through the pack in the C final. He started at the back of the B final, and he's already up with us after a couple of laps. So he has had an absolutely amazing start. He's an absolute weapon in a kart. So if and when he inevitably does get past us, we're going to need to see if we can have a look at what he's doing. Typically, what is normally the case is we've got yellow flags. Yes, we have. Yeah, that means that we're not going to be able to have another go at Richard. Just going to tuck him behind. Typically, when Alex Pritchard drives past me, he disappears off the road so quickly that I can't see what he's doing. So if you wouldn't mind slowing down, Alex, next time, that would be appreciated. Anyway, we're back racing again, and can we do anything about any of the guys in front? Just we over the course of that yellow flag, we seem to have lost a little bit of time to Richard, perhaps just not quite awake. We're going to go really deep into this corner, but yeah, there is Alex. We're just waiting to see if we could outbrake him, but no, we can't. He's going to turn around here. There he is, hello, and there it is, gives us the wave. He's always said he'd like to give us a wave on one of the videos, so thank you very much. There it is, there's the wave, and look at that, very, very decisive overtaking there. He's he's not like us. It's not like me, who likes to dilly-dally about overtaking. He makes really clear, decisive moves, and clean ones as well. So he's done well there. He's done both myself and Richard before the start of the yellow flags. The semi-permanent yellow flags that we've got down by the chicane there. Going to go again and prioritise the exit. Now this time, can we do anything? Can we do anything here? We have got the better exit, and this time we are far enough alongside at the entry of this corner to claim the high ground there and to make it work for us. So that was an important move to make. Richard's very quick and in the C2 class as well, so that's a move for position. But yeah, with regard to track positions, a couple of the guys, Alex included, who went through the C final, actually knew full well that conditions were drying up very rapidly. And I was speaking to Luke actually after the race, another driver who was promoted from the C final after having done very well in it, and actually really carving his way through the pack in the B final. He said that it was drying up all through the C final, and it was very useful knowledge to gain. Being out there from the C final and then going back into the B final. So track conditions are rapidly changing. By the time the A finalists go out, they were doing pretty much dry times. So this track does dry really quickly. I'm really surprised, actually. I was really surprised it dried so quickly because it was cold. It was really wet and cold. I didn't think that it would evaporate, but the track surface, I think, is very good at displacing and absorbing the water. Got yellow flags again, so we've had a sort of clean lap, and we've been able to make our way back up onto the rear bumpers of these three, who are fighting hard. Can we do anything? Can we do anything about them? Again, just seem to have lost a little bit of time with the yellow flags there. Perhaps I felt today that with marshals on track and it being so greasy and being on slicks, I was going to just blend out the throttle slightly so I didn't shin the marshals who are on track. But seem to be losing a few kart lengths when doing that. Maybe I just need to be more awake on the restarts, but not got a great exit there either, have we? But if anything kicks off ahead of us, then at least we won't be taken out by it. And in actual fact, it has been. These two guys have got together and they've run into each other. So unfortunate for those guys, but good news for us. We've just got Heinrich Miller, Watson Miller. Not sure which way around it is now. Yeah. Sorry, probably again something I should have looked up beforehand. But there he is. This is the guy who made first lap, he did a great job being out there and getting really great traction. But just there, he got onto the curb, and that really ruined his momentum. And we just ran into the back of him there. So that's unfortunate one there. Perhaps if we hadn't been quite so close, then we would have been able to out drag him. But rather than just nudging him along. Anyway, let's see if we can again regroup and have another crack at him. We seem to be so at this stage, I'd say I think I'd probably have done a reasonable job at learning and improving the exit. So trying to get the kart straight before really ramming the gas on. We're absolutely side by side here, but the yellow flags come out again. I couldn't be sure that I was ahead. I think we were sort of almost pretty much exactly side by side, but not worth the risk really in these conditions. Not worth getting a penalty because that is a definite kind of like race ruining issue that we're going to face there. So again, we're gonna have to try and regroup once again. It does demonstrate, doesn't it? When you see someone, a real pro like Alex Pritchard, scything his way through the field, it's a bit of racecraft there, isn't it? That my game needs. He was making very clear, decisive moves and not looking back, whereas our overtakes have been sort of 3 laps in the making sometimes. So perhaps need to work on that. But again, looks like we are getting a fairly decent exit, but not close enough alongside this time. Heinrich goes wide again, and we're much closer this time, but not close enough to make any kind of move. And watch this. Oh, silly sausage moment number 5. And then we have to watch the whole pack go past us. Actually, there's more people coming as well. But we're able to slot into the gap. We rejoin off the racing line and allow this guy to go through. If you pull out in front of someone, that is a penalty. So we had to wait for all of those guys to go through. Then there was a gap, and then we stayed off the racing line. Absolute absolute disaster. I don't know what is wrong with me at the moment. In fact, what happened there is I do know what happened there actually. I was just being a little bit too greedy with the track on the outside, trying to open up the chicane as much as possible so that I could carry more speed and go for a better exit. And that puddle, there was actually a little puddle there. I just dipped my right rear into that puddle. I'll show you it as we're approaching it again now. Just dipped that right rear in and it looped me round, so just on the right hand side there, so I just dipped my right rear in there and lost all traction. So yeah, there you are, 5 silly sausage moments. If you guessed 5, then well done, very good. Maybe I should make it into some kind of competition, an ongoing competition. Silly sausage moments. Yeah, that sounds good. Get a good exit here in the slipstream. I'm going to go to the left-hand side. Guy points me through. He doesn't fight me actually. So thank you very much, sir. And we're off and we're underway. These finals, this B final that we're in here, it's a 12-minute affair. So actually I think it's yellow flags again. Actually I think we've probably made our mistake at the traditional time at around sort of 7 to 9 minutes, just like we were making our mistakes in heats 1, 2 and 3 around about that time, just at the what we would normally consider the end of the heat. Yeah, you know, there it is. Perhaps a trip to the gym, perhaps a trip to the running shoe shop. Is that a thing? Anyway, yeah, just trying to get my head down. In a way, it's quite liberating to be making these terrible mistakes the entire time, because you're not fighting for a championship, so you can just enjoy the racing a little bit more. So I'm actually feeling a little bit more relaxed now, and with the relaxation comes, I think, probably better lap times, better racecraft. You see, all those people who drove past us as we were floundering in that puddle like a duck, they're actually there. That's that there is Lawrence and Johnny, who are battling. Again, no idea what position this is, but as they are battling, they are coming back towards me. So let's see. Well, I've got a smile on my face, so I might get one last battle. I have to say, even with all the ridiculous things I did today, perhaps a few months ago I would have really, I'd have been super frustrated. Go for the exit, just bump Lawrence up the back there. So again, it ruins our exit. Final lap boards out. A couple of months ago, when my expectations were higher for this season, I would have been upset about this for days and weeks maybe. Actually, having made a bit of a mess of any kind of championship hope already. I was never going to win C2. Don't get me wrong, but I was hoping to be not last or anything like that. I was hoping to see how get as far up the standings as I could. Certainly not thinking that I was going to win it or anything, as we just bumped the back of Lawrence again there. Now I'm sort of after a disaster. Round 1 was a disaster actually. Spinning on my own, not making good progress, that sort of thing. Always types of problems. I'm going to try and see if we can get Lawrence as a drag race to the line, but we just had to go onto the curb there to avoid him, so couldn't quite do it in the end. Actually I have to say, a really, really fantastic day's racing. I really enjoyed the track actually, and it was a real challenge, but it was a good challenge, really, really enjoyable. Lawrence is going to dump a cart there. He wasn't happy with his cart. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please buy the stuff. I'd really love it if you did, and if you do want to get involved with some working together in any way, shape or form, please let me know. These are last year's figures. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one.